Bonsoir. Do you hear me and do you see me as usual? Bonsoir, bonsoir. Buonasera. Thanks. Bonsoir. Do you see me? Do you hear me? Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Ah, bonsoir. Ah, yes. Ok. Très bien. C'est parfait. Okay. Now. Background sound. Also now? I think I know which one. It's my son. Bonsoir, Monsieur Argent. Alors, yes. Bonsoir. Yeah, that's my son. I think this is the sound that you hear in the background. Rachel, non? Bonsoir. Alors, je suis en train de faire un cours. Les gens écoutent les bruits que tu fais en haut. Alors, je voulais te demander, Aïchoul Diaman, est-ce que tu n'as jamais, s'il te plaît, تسكت حكاية 1 heure. Et t'as vu qu'elle me dit, ça y est, pendant 1 heure. De toute façon, dès que j'aurai fini, نطلع لك الفوق ونقول لك حبي أما c'est possible يعيشك. عايشول دي merci. Ok. Voilà. I think now you don't hear it anymore. Bonsoir. Alors, Géraldine, bonsoir. Okay, Monsieur Argent, always nice to have you here. Elvisa, hello, buonasera. Ah, Tenerife. Ah, très bien. Ah, Edith. Edith is in Tenerife. Ok, très très bien. Alors, so nice to have all of you here. We still have 5 minutes to go. I will read because many of you have sent me questions. So I look for the questions that you sent me. Maybe I can start already addressing them of these while I'm waiting. Ah! Oh, Esther. Hester. Bonsoir. Goedenavond, mevrouw Hester. Wat leuk dat u er bent. Oh, dat is feest vanavond. Oké. So, body image, boundaries, I'm reading here to try to get the essence, because it's a long, long letter. So maybe I will start with these. Bonsoir from Ireland and bonsoir from Russia. Ah, et bonsoir from Tenerife. Et bonsoir from the Netherlands. Bonsoir from Ireland. Yes, Ireland. Yes. Et bonsoir from Romania. And yes, kletsen maar dansen. Yes, that will be the online classes are a mixture of kletsen and dansen, of talking and dancing. It's not only dancing, so it's both. Because the online classes, they are very short, and then it's women from all over the world who send me very nice and personal questions, which also inspire me to create my movements. So, alors, I will start with erotic self-love. So while I'm talking, I start with the hands. It's exactly, now we still have 1 minute before 7, and then we will start exactly on time. So as usual, I will be talking and moving. If you really want only dance, which I understand, then you can always look for my online trainings. There you have mostly dancing, and then you have some theory part, but it's mostly dancing. These classes are a mixture of dancing and talking. And I won't go too much into technique because we don't have so much time. So as I said, if you really want technique, then I refer you to my online education. I have two. I have an introduction course, which is really to introduce you to a small selection of the Divine Nine dance movements. And then I have another training, which is really like a real education, which is about with almost 52, I think, films with a lot of dancing and technique, also the pelvic floor muscles. And these for the ones who really want to block in their agenda 3 to 4 months, and then they would like to work thoroughly to make like a makeover from A until Z about how to be feminine, sensual, and self-confident. Both educations are called The Art of Being Feminine. One is a long training of few months, and the other one is a introduction for daily quick fix stuff. Voila. If you can look on, probably there is a link in this YouTube film, and then you just can look there, and then we're gonna have technique. And now we will start. Hello from Belgium. Erotic self-love. So I will start technique while I'm talking. I will be using a lot the hands. So you have your thumb underneath, your fingers are together, especially these two, and then you undulate with your fingers. I'll show you here. Voila. You undulate with your fingers. And then if you have questions, you can always ask them, and I will get back to you to read them once in a while. So here, and then you go very slow, right? And then you are breathing, very essential. And while you are breathing, you squeeze kabasa and you release kabasa. It's as old as the dance that we are practicing, which is called in Arabic رقصة الإلهات, the dance of the goddesses, which is almost 4,000 years old ritual, stepping from back to Mesopotamia, and then traveling from Mesopotamia, which is Syria and Iraq, until it reaches North Africa and even part of Andalusia with the Muslim invasion into Spain. And then you here, and part of that ritual is also al-kabasa, from Arabic kabasa, which is grip, and that means about squeezing and releasing the pelvic floor muscles gradually. Especially pelvic floor muscles are basically the vulva muscles, the muscles of the perineum, which is the muscle between your, if you are a lady, it's between your anus and your vagina. And if you're a gentleman, because sometimes gentlemen join us, it's between your anus and your balls, and that is the perineum. This is the most important muscle that we need to train regularly, because that muscle carries some of the internal organs, such as the bladder, or for example the uterus. So this muscle needs to be for the ladies. For the gentleman, it's related, also connected to your prostate. So the more you squeeze and you release that muscle, you train it, the healthier it is for your pelvic floor muscles. Because I also happen to work with pelvis physiotherapists, and 42% of women worldwide, at least the ones who test the quality of their pelvic floor muscles, 42%, but probably there are more, suffer from very, very weak pelvic floor muscles, which lead to problems of incontinence, like not being able to hold the pee-pee, poor quality of orgasms, internal organs which are a little bit like hanging from inside. Why? Because the pelvic floor muscles are not strong enough. So here, when I do this movement, the hands here, I squeeze, I release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So you coordinate your pelvic floor muscles on your hands. And now the breath. I breathe in and out very, very, very slow. So my breath is and then I start doing a lemniscate to the right and to the left, right, left, right, left, and right and left. Et un, et deux, et un, et deux, et un, et deux, et un, deux, un, deux, un et deux, et un et deux, un. The very slow, 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 and then you open the arms. Un, deux, un, deux, with the elbows, and expand, 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 expand. The hands, et un, et deux, and breathe. Alors, erotic self-love, what does it mean? So I will base some of it on teaching for many, many years at university, because I am also a professor in gender and media, gender studies in combination with media studies. And I was teaching for many years erotic capital in the media. How is the representation of the erotic capital in the media? Erotic capital, it's a lot of qualities which are related to our self-image, to our physical presentation, to our energy, our physical fitness, our X factor, attractiveness, sensuality, humor, beauty, and all these physical elements which increase the value of our erotic capital. So it's like a capital. But of course, we live for the last 50 years in a culture which is more and more médiatisée, sexualisée, culture of sexualization, of pornification. So our whole erotic culture and erotic capital actually is very often associated with a culture of pornification, which is a pity, So the idea of erotic self-love is to take that energy back to ourselves literally. Alors, érotique. I will maybe share some very personal stuff, which actually the only reason why I'm sharing it is to open your mind to another perspective, even though for me it's very personal. It's not something that usually I share it like in my classes physically when I am with my women, but not so much online. But okay, soit. It's very important because when we associate érotique, let's go with another movement, lemniscate verticale. When we associate our erotic practice, it's very often associated with sex, with the sexual experience. So let's explore that sexual experience. And in this situation, very often we associate that to our sexual experience, and especially with a partner. So it's a sexual practice with somebody else. In this situation, let's imagine I'm going to refer to the other with whom you might have a sexual experience, and I will mostly referring to heterosexual relationship. But of course, you can also apply it to any kind of sexual interaction, whether it is homosexual, bisexual, heterosexual, transsexual, whatever sexual you want. Alors, le plus important is to learn to practice self-love before expanding to share your erotic capital with somebody else, whether it's your husband or your boyfriend or just somebody that you meet and you enjoy having sex with. And even if you are in a relationship, it's very wise to, parallèlement to your sexual interaction with somebody else, even if it's your husband and you are very happy with your sexual life with that person, it's very important parallèlement to develop a practice of self-love. Now, some of you might ask, what is that? So keep on swinging, and then we're gonna go for here, the snake. And here I squeeze, I release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So I squeeze and I release. I'm practicing the snake. Some of you might wonder what is that, and especially it's very often associated to masturbation in a Western culture, which is personally a term that I don't like to use because I found it very limiting, because it's associated with a kind of self-love. It's like it's only focused again on that sexual part of, I just touch myself and I have masturbation. Why? Because I am reaching a goal, which is to have an orgasm, it's like to release. I'm not talking about that. Ça, c'est pas très intéressant, franchement. It's not very interesting. I'm talking about the practice of self-love, which is I love my body. Alors, I start with my hands. I rise with my hands here, and I breathe in, and then I go down, and then I feel I love my body. And then you keep on doing the snake, and then undulating with your hands, and then you feel I love my body. And here I'm gonna make some extra attention to the face, And I go un et deux et un et deux. So this is a preparation. I mean, you might be after move to more sexual interaction with yourself, but you start like your self-love ritual with a dance where you really go into I love my body, right? I try, I mean, it's like I program in my agenda everything I program once a week, a morning, usually in the weekend, for self-love. Even if I am in a relationship, I would always find a moment, at least 2 hours, where I can be with myself on my own, and I do this ritual. Why? So that I teach myself and I program myself to be erotically self-sufficient. I am the source of my own pleasure. When I play with somebody else, like for example with a boyfriend or with my partner, whatever you want to call it, I am playing to expand. I am not in need. I am not missing. I am not hungry for an erotic feeling. I am like, it's like for self-satisfaction. It's like I am nourished. I feel attractive. Erotic capital is about I feel attractive. I feel magnetic. I feel sensual. I feel alive. I feel sexy. I feel beautiful, etc., etc., etc. And from there, it's like I anchor these feelings in my body. So here I squeeze cabeza, I release. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, and I squeeze, I release. And then every time I squeeze and I anchor, all is like I program my erotic brain, like I feel attractive. Je me sens attirante. Je me sens attirante. I love my body. I feel attractive. 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 And you repeat that for a few times, and every time you squeeze the cabeza, you squeeze, and every time you squeeze, you anchor that word and that sensation in your body. And and I feel sensual. Je suis sensuelle. 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 Je suis. So what happens here is that I reprogram or I program my body and my body cells to anchor that thought of I am sensual with the sensation literally of my body, and especially in my cabeza, in my vulva muscles, which is the source of my erotic energy, my life force, which is in the pelvis. And from that energy of self-sufficiency in the goddesses archetypes, when I dance the goddesses archetypes with my women or on my own, I always combine the archetype of Aphrodite with Hestia. Alors, Aphrodite, the lights of Aphrodite is I feel sensual, I feel attractive, I feel magnetic, I feel sexy, etc., etc. This is Aphrodite. I feel beautiful. I love my body. This is Aphrodite. The lights of Aphrodite, because there are also shadows. And I combine that with the lights of Hestia. And Hestia, she's the goddess. She's like the meditative hermit goddess. Actually, she's not sexual at all. She's not into relationships. She likes to be on her own. She likes silence. She likes meditation. She likes quiet. And she's extremely happy with herself. She doesn't need anybody or to tell her who she is and what she is and what she likes. She's completely self-sufficient. So when we combine through the dance the archetype of Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty and sensuality, with Hestia, the goddess of inner world, peace and self-sufficiency, you get a very beautiful combination between the beauty and the sensuality, which are from inside, 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 inside. And then we become self-sufficient, which means we do not need somebody else from outside, not our partner or our husband or our boyfriend or any man that we meet, to tell us or to have like the confirmation to reassure us that we are attractive and we are beautiful and we are sexy, etc., etc. I mean, it's always nice to hear, but it's not my core for erotic self-appreciation. Is not depending on the other. The other one, it's very nice to hear that. It's like it's an addition. Huh? It's a nice to have. But the must to have, that's inside of me. Because I cultivate this erotic self-love with the dance and with the kabasa and the kabasa and the kabasa. Voila, and then I roll my shoulders and I'm gonna read if you have questions for me, and I will drink as well, so I would invite you to drink as well, and then I'm gonna see your questions. Ah, Pauline is here. Bonsoir, Pauline. So nice to have you, darling. I miss you, Pauline. Super. I don't know how it is for you, but because of Corona, I hardly see my friends and my family, actually. My family, absolutely not, because they are in Tunisia and in France. And I really miss my friends. I miss my friends. I miss to see them physically. Pauline, I miss you. Voilà. Alors, if you have any questions, please let me know. And then I'm gonna move to the next part. So please, marhaba Dina. Dina from Palestine. And Tina, hello from Denmark. Very nice to see you. So nice to see people from all over the world. C'est super, c'est vraiment super. Alors, if you have questions about this, please write them down and then I will read them. So this is like the, here I go here and then I go into my body and then I start touching my body in a nice way. What is very important when you do these things that you do them alone. Très important. It's not, these dances that we learned. I learned these dances from my mother, my grandmother, my grandmother. And these are very sensual dances, and the men are never around. So we learn to do these very sensual, sometimes erotic dances just for ourselves. And with other women, we stimulate each other with the dance, we empower each other. But our erotic is purely for us to feel good about ourselves. It has nothing to do with a man. We don't even fantasize or imagine dancing for them. Vraiment, c'est pas important du tout. We love men, hein? That's not the point. Mais ils sont pas, they are not our subject of erotic. It's nice to have. They are a certain point, they are around, and we want them to enjoy, like a flower. Flower smells good, and the flower will release its smell no matter if there are people around to smell and appreciate the smell of the flower or not, or the beauty of the flower or not. The flower will smell good because the flower cannot not smell good. So the erotic, the female erotic, it's like a flower. It's not for the man. I mean, if the man happens to be there, très bien. If the man doesn't happen to be there, also très bien. Alors, I go here and then I start touching the body. 1 et 2, et here the belly. And belly. And belly. Belly. Belly, then you feel on your hand here, and then at the same time you are squeezing and releasing the kabasa and the head. You see, my head is going, like my hip goes to the left and my head goes to the left, and then right, and then left, and then right. Why the head? To let go of control, because erotique et control, it's not a very nice combination. They are not supposed to go together. So you go with your head, it's like let go of control and just go with the flow, and I go with the flow, and I go, and then you go with the hands here, then you feel I love my belly, I love my womb, I love my womb. And then the head, and with the head also you make a lemniscate to really let go of control and relax your head. And what we do actually, we are stretching and awakening, we are stretching the body, stretching the neck, and awakening that sensual energy which is into the body, and especially the life force which is in the pelvis. And I squeeze, I release. And I squeeze, I release. And I squeeze, I release. And squeeze and release, and squeeze, and then I'm going to go lemniscate forward. I'm not going so much in technique, but if you really want to go into the technique, as I said, I referred in the beginning, you go to my online education, The Art of Being Feminine, and you have an introduction for the ones who want to just an introduction course, and we have the training for the ones who want and make over from A to Z, and then you have all the techniques. So this movement is lemniscate forward, and you combine it with the kabasa, the vulva dance, and then I squeeze, release, squeeze, release, and then with your hands you go for your derrière. et le derrière, et derrière, et derrière, et derrière. So really go 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et 1. And you massage your lower back. Et 1 here. So you go from here, so you touch your perineum, and then you go up here in the middle, and then after down, hip. So perineum, up, hip, down. So you awaken the energy into the pelvis and you caress also your lower back. Et 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et circles, tribal circle, 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et 1 et 2 et 1 et 2. And then you really feel I love my derrière et j'adore mon 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 derrière et voilà. And I go on et 1 et 2. So you make it also a little bit playful. And then I go back to the belly. Et j'adore mon ventre. And I love my belly. And then keep on squeeze, release, squeeze. Everything is fine when you are squeezing and releasing all the time, especially when you do the movements. So you do kabasa with raqsat al-ilahat, with the dance of the goddesses together, which is the essence, the kabasa with the raqsat al-ilahat together. This is actually the essence of the divine nine dance therapy. So it's really like the two piliers, foundation of the dance. And then you keep on doing. And then I'm going to move now to the heart. So I go snake, pelvis, belly, heart. And then go hop and I take the energy from down. So you touch the clitoris. You can do this also naked or under the shower. Then you touch clitoris and you go clitoris, right? Belly, you can even go deep. You can even go lower, that you touch the perineum. Then you go perineum, vagina, urethra, clitoris, belly, heart, and you go down. But okay, let's keep it now level of the clitoris. Clitoris, lower belly, upper belly, chest, and go down. And then every time you feel, I love my body. So this energy of the clitoris, you rise with it to the heart. You connect the energy of the womb to the energy of the heart. And then you feel, I love délicatement my body. Et how I love my body. Et love my body. And you go 1 et 2 et clitoris and heart. Et clitoris, heart. Clitoris, heart. Clitoris, heart. Clitoris, heart. So this finger, rack. Celui-là, I call it the clitoris finger. It's like you go from the clitoris and you go up. And you really feel you are rising with that energy. And I love my body because at the end, why is it so important to have these moments where we self-love and self-play? I play with myself. So also to learn that at the end, I am the only one responsible of turning myself on. This attitude that we have many women where, for example, we don't feel like having sex, and then to have sex, we expect that our partner has to do certain things in a certain way so that we feel the desire to have sex. And if so, which means like our stimulation is depending on somebody else, and here there is nothing self-sufficient and empowering here, because we are giving our power away, and then the stimulation should always be interne. It means I am the boss over my own erotic stimulation. I put myself into the mood, not waiting until Monsieur X or Monsieur Y or Madame Z puts me in the mood. No, nothing. I am the master of my erotic mood. Okay? Je suis le boss. I am the CEO. I am the erotic CEO of my body. I am the boss. I am the erotic lady boss. Here, hop. So, I have to awaken that energy, and I need to learn to stimulate myself by myself. So here I connect the clitoris with the breasts. And now I'm gonna go breasts and keep on squeezing and releasing cabeza. So I do the lemniscate here. You start lemniscate breasts, combination with the head, and then I go here, you go from the heart to awaken. So you caress your breasts, but with the movement. So the movement is this, lemniscate. And then to awaken that energy of your heart, and then to feel, I love myself. I love my breasts. I love my body. My heart is full of love. And then I love, I love, I love, I love, I love me. I love me. I love me. I love me. And then you can put your favorite songs of love, which I do the same. And then, for example, one of my favorite songs I always loved already as a little girl, the song of Endless Love, Lionel Richie with Diana Ross. And then already as a little girl, when I do this song, I wouldn't imagine that I'm singing this for somebody else that I love. No, I imagine myself. So then I would put myself facing me, and then I imagine like, my love, there's only you, da, da, da. And then it's like really I'm singing that to myself. Ya Habibi. So then I am in love with myself. I am singing for myself. And then all these very nice, inspiring, loving songs, I sing them for myself. And then I imagine myself, I visualize myself facing me, I close my eyes, and then I'm touching my breasts, and then I'm awakening that energy of the heart to tell myself, I love you. And the you is actually me. So it's like, I love me. I love me. And the hands, I love me. And the cabeza, I squeeze, I release. I squeeze, I release. To anchor, I squeeze, I release. I squeeze, I release. And then I go circles and circles and circles, circles of the chest. I'm gonna go for the tornado, divine line dance, the tornado, which is with the hips, with the belly, with the heart, and then you go all over your body. I love my body, clitoris, the heart, everywhere, like woo, taka, pa, 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 pa. Et voilà, and you roll the shoulders and you leave it all behind. Voila. So drink some water. I'm gonna answer your questions. And times fly when we have fun. We are almost heading until the end of the class because I need to stop. So if you have any questions, please write them down and I would love to answer them. Voilà, I hope that you enjoyed it, bien sûr. A lot of water. Salute. Voilà. Alors, questions. Okay. So let me know what are your questions, and then I would already start answering a question sent. So while I'm answering the questions, I'm gonna shake the knees one by one. Okay. No, thank you so much also for that here. Thank you. It's a gift to be taught and inspired by you. Of course, it's my pleasure. What is the most important is that to learn to appreciate oneself erotically and not to be always like this. I call it for myself. Huh? I don't want to be an beggar in love. I want to expand. I don't want to beg. It's like I don't want to, it's like I need an erotic shot from somebody else to feel erotic and to feel alive. No, 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 no. No. I want to have it in me. And then from there I expand. I have here a question is, it's about Erotic. A lady that says she grew up in a very conservative culture, a Muslim culture, and she learned that sex is dangerous and you have to protect yourself and you have to suppress it and to keep it under control, and that makes that her erotic energy went on decreasing and decreasing and decreasing, and then to choose the safe side, which we recognize this, she started to be more and more masculine, so that the feminine energy, which is very much also related to that sensuality, could be a little bit more or less under control. But at a certain point, it's so much under control that it's not easy anymore to just tap into it and to connect into it when she wants to. And she feels that there is a lot of grief in there because it's related to her childhood and to all this conditioning from her parents that she reproduced in her life. Well, this is very normal, of course, because we are. I mean, honestly, if you look, we live in a society which is so where the sexual energy has been abused already for thousands of years. The female sexuality has also abused for thousands of years. So we also learn to dissociate from that whole erotic and sexual power altogether, because it's too dangerous. And then of course this is why I call it self-love, like this to dance and to awaken that energy in your body is already seen it's associated very often with two things. It's associated with striptease. It means, what does it mean, striptease? It's like I'm stripping for somebody else. So it's always for the other. It's never mine. It's something that I do to please the other, first of all. And then also we are stripping or dancing, there is a kind of way that we have to do it. So it's also something coming from outside. It's not something coming from inside out. And on top of that, if we really enter that space of touching ourselves and then making love to ourselves, then it's associated with masturbation, which is seen as a sin, which is seen as a kind of frustration, because only people who are frustrated sexually because they don't have a partner masturbate or play with themselves. So actually it means you are a loser. So altogether, nobody wants to be a sex object, nobody wants to be a sex loser, nobody whatever. So what we do then, we dissociate from that whole thing altogether. And by doing so, actually, we give our power away. So the whole idea about the erotic capital and the divine nine dance therapy and these dances in particular is to take that power back. And then I I see... I have a question. I am really happy I found you and your divine nine dance therapy, and I am presuming that the intro course is a course I buy and do and read by myself. Is that correct? Yes. The introduction course, it's like a kind of rassemblement, like a collection of the core, because there are, as I said, for example, in the big education, there are about 52 films. And in the introduction course, it's like a kind of compact selection from certain films. It's different films than the ones used in the education, the divine nine dance therapy, art of being feminine education. And then it's like a kind of like concentrated movements, so that you also in your daily life you can practice that, and then you get also a quick result. And the other one is really to go deep into the material. And if you look on the website, and I think is also here, there is a link on this session, then you can see it. Here you see the link about introduction is under the video. You can follow it from your house at your own pace. So you can just, the films is like you can put them again and again and again, and then you exercise, and then at your own pace. And then once in a while I go on the platform to give an online session. It's like now I will stop with you, and then after I will go on the Divine Nine Dance Therapy platform community, the online community. And there the ladies who are enrolled for the Art of Being Feminine introduction or education, we are live together, and then they can ask me direct question, and then we can dance, and it's much more, of course, private and intimate. So then I can really go deep into the issues that they are struggling with, or where they need advice, and because it's a closed community, because this one is not very private, at least compared to the other one. And then I take another question, and Hester, merci, kisses to you as well. And then I have Claudia that says, my body is stiff and it's difficult for me to make the movements. In a time, the body is raised. Here, I think what would be great is if you do a lot of chimis. It's all kind of shaking. And the chimis, they really help to release the tension of the body. What the chimis are part of in the Divine Nine dance therapy, we call them we have the wild woman and the sensual woman. So the wild woman is all kind of shaking and chimis to release the stiffness or the tension or the negative emotions, or the kind of when we are inhibited, or we are like stuck, or we are like shrinking, we don't dare, like all these things which makes that our body shrinks, the energy goes like this, or stiff. We do the wild woman movements with a lot of chimis and kicks, and then from there we move to the sensual woman, which is that we use a lot when we work on the erotic capital and the erotic self-love. And then the sensual woman, it's about all the watery. So the wild woman is about the fire movements, and the sensual woman is about watery movements like flow and sensual and snakes and lemniscates and circles and this kind of energy. Voilà. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. I wish you a beautiful evening or day if you are watching this during daytime. If you like it, of course, feel free to share this link with these special women in your life that you want to inspire, that you want to empower. And these movements are also great to do them under the shower. So if you happen to take a shower, just do all these movements that we have been doing today. Or if you happen, which is even better, like Edith, she says, I have such warm memories from the classes and workshops. Yes, me too, of course. And then if you happen to live on the seaside, or you have access to a swimming pool, these movements, the sensual woman, are absolutely amazing to experience in the water. They are perfect for the water. So then you really get into flow. You become completely fluid everywhere. So if you happen to be around the water, whether in your bath or under your shower or in a swimming pool or in the ocean, enjoy them. They are perfect. Voilà. Merci beaucoup. Thank you for all of you. Merci for your presence. Merci for your time. And also merci for supporting us. There is also in the link to follow these classes, there is also a link for donation. And many of you have been donating, and you can donate we are happy with everything. We are happy with €1. Some people, they give 100, 150, 200 euros. Some people give €1. For us, it's all the same. We are happy with every single gift that you give us to be able to maintain these classes, because as you know, behind the scene, there is a whole staff working, and I wanted to thank my team for being present tonight, Ariane and Rachel and Pauline, and we have also Suze, who has been working behind the scene. Thank you so much, because without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And also for all of you, thank you so much for your generosity and for your donations, because that help us to keep on doing these classes. Merci. I wish you a beautiful evening. I wish you a beautiful day if you are watching this during daytime. Share it with the women, because it's important that we develop erotic self-love and erotic self-sufficiency. Sufficiency. You are the boss of your erotic. Nobody else. Nobody else. And it's also unfair to let this responsibility lay on somebody else's shoulders, because it's very heavy, especially for men. Because a lot of men, at a certain point, they feel the pressure, and then this pressure of performance, and then they are imagine, like it's like they feel responsible for your erotic stimulation. I mean, it's not nice. I mean, it's not nice. So, and for a lot of men, there is this fear of performance, which is really real. So I don't think it's very empowering either, also into a relationship. So take your power back, become your own erotic boss, and from there, expand. Voilà. Merci beaucoup. I wish you a beautiful time, and looking very much forward to see you in the future. Voilà, merci beaucoup. Merci, merci.